everybody, this is Patricia and welcome back to our Chatty Get Ready With Me. I love these Fridays, so let's get started. Today is a question and answer day. So I asked for questions and I'm going to answer them if I can keep my phone on. And so let's go ahead and get started. I've already primed my face. I want you to look how red my face is. Do you see how red my skin is? Look at my hand. I have always been this way, and I've always been the person who blushes easy. So yeah, I'd like to try to cover that up, but I don't know. Let's see. Let's get started. I went ahead and did my skincare and I've already primed, and today I'm going to use my Maybelline Superstay 24-hour foundation because I bought it. I used it maybe twice and then I've set it up and I need to use this. So I'm going to use this today. Oops. It doesn't twist. It pulls up. So let's get started. Let me pull up my questions here. How old were you when you got married the first time? I have been married twice. Twice. Yeah, I did say that. Twice. My first marriage, my mother referred to it as my starter marriage. I got married at 23 and it lasted 5 years. So it did not last long. Out of that 5 years, we may have had 6 good months together. Truthfully, I'm being truthful. It was not a good marriage. I don't like to talk about it. It's over and done with. I did not have children with him. I don't have to deal with him. And I don't have to talk about him. So, there we go. So, whoops. Look, I got that all over my brows. Yeah, the first time I got married, I think I got married for the wrong reasons. I had the big wedding, you know. I had the big wedding dress. And I'm being serious. I liked the guy. I may have loved the guy. But he may have loved me, but I don't think we got married for the right reasons. Let's just say that. Okay, what is your favorite department store? I feel myself getting red. My favorite department store. I have a love of Belk, and if you live in the South, you know Belk department store. I have a love of Belk because that's where I first started working for Estee Lauder, and I really did love working there. And I only left because Estee Lauder offered me a permanent position with just them and not through the store. So I would have to say Belk is my favorite department store. A nationwide department store, I like Macy's. I like Nordstrom's. So yeah, I have to drive to Greenville, South Carolina to shop at Macy's. And when I say that, that sounds like a long way from Asheville, North Carolina, but it's less than an hour. So it's not a big deal. So I go to Macy's quite often. Nordstrom, on the other hand, is in Charlotte. That's the closest one, I think, to me. And that is about, depending on traffic getting on that side of town, about maybe an hour and a half to a 2-hour drive to go to Nordstrom. So, if you could only use one makeup brand for the rest of your life, what would it be? That's tough. That is tough. For 6 years, I could only use Estee Lauder, because if you got caught not wearing Estee Lauder, you could lose your job. Fragrance, too. You couldn't wear any other fragrance. So that's why I like to try so many different things now. But if I had to choose just one, it would probably be right now Huda Beauty. I am loving Huda Beauty. I got the foundation recently, and I got it. It's too light. I'm not going to send it back because I ordered it online, and it sells out so quickly. I wore it by itself, and I think the coverage and everything looked great. Did not make my nose itch. We all know that's a plus. But I've started mixing it with some of my darker foundations I can't wear. And I'm just going to wear it like that. And the next time I purchase it, I will need to purchase a darker shade. So, but yeah, Huda Beauty. I would say Huda. Okay. What is your perfect day? My perfect day would be traveling somewhere. Man, if I was going somewhere, that would be perfect. I'm going to set under my eyes with my Huda Beauty contour palette. I just did this a couple times, and I find I like the look the powder gives under my eye. So I'm using this. I'll show you which color here in just a minute. But I pat that in with my damp beauty blender, and I like how that looks. So for setting under eyes, I like this better. There we go. And I used this shade. And that shade has a name. Levitation. Levitation. So, but yeah, if I was traveling somewhere, and speaking of that, I don't want to say anything yet, but a trip has probably popped up for in a few weeks. So I'll tell you more about that if it comes to fruition. What is your favorite restaurant? Well, my absolute favorite restaurant is a local restaurant that's not a chain, and it's called Apollo Flame, and it's like within a mile of my house. And they have Greek and Italian food, and it is awesome. It is so delicious, and your portions are huge. I get 4 meals from my order. That's another reason I like it. It's a good deal. The portions are large, and I always get a big Greek salad without the feta. And I know the feta is the best part, but it is so good. And like I said, that salad I can eat 4 times. They also, if I'm feeling a little naughty, I'll get like a spinach lasagna, or I'll get like a veggie manicotti they have, which is good. I don't care for their eggplant parmesan because their slices of eggplant are so thin. You only get 3 little thin breaded eggplant slices. But if I'm feeling naughty, I'll eat that cheese because I do love some cheese. But as far as a chain restaurant, I'd have to say Olive Garden, and again for the same reason. That salad is amazing. I always go through 2 bowls of salad. My husband will help me eat the first bowl. Second bowl, I'll probably get a little out on my plate, you know, kind of, you know, stab at it a little bit, and then ask for a box to take it home. So yeah, Olive Garden would be it. So I know, is that bad? It's not bad. Okay, if you had to move to another country, which one would you pick? I've not been to France. I want to go to France. So part of me wants to pick France, but I have I have 2 really good friends who actually live in France. And I hear things that maybe France is not such a great place to actually live. Wow, this is difficult. Truthfully, I'd like to move to an island in the Caribbean. A nice little house, nothing over the top. Something where I could walk to the beach, get me a job in one of those little souvenir stores, you know, one of the really nice ones. And just work part-time in a souvenir store. When I'm not working, walk to the beach, go get me a tropical drink every now and then. I'd be in heaven. So maybe, started to say St. Thomas, but St. Thomas is the U.S. Virgin Island. Aruba maybe? Somewhere like that. I think that would be my answer. Let's see. What is your least favorite household chore? I don't like washing dishes. I tried to make that my son's chore. My son uses 3 times the hot water and a whole container of dishwashing liquid to wash dishes, and it'll take him 2 hours. So my water bill was going up. So I have him wash dishes just 1 day a week. What else do I not like doing? I would say cleaning the toilet, but that's really easy. I don't like cleaning the bathtub. That's it. The bathtub. I hate that. I hate doing that with a passion. I need to get, I saw it on QVC. It's this electric scrubber thing that, I don't know what it's called, but it has a long handle you can extend. It's got a rotating scrubber brush to really get down in there without me having to get down on the floor, because, you know, I have bad knees and I don't like, you know, having to get down on the floor and scrubbing the bathtub. So I would say scrubbing the bathtub. That would be the one chore I don't like. Yeah. When you were little, what did you want to be when you grew up? This might surprise you. I wanted to be a geologist. I did. I wanted to be a geologist. I have a huge rock collection. Still have my huge rock collection. I'm fascinated by, I think it started out with gem mining. My father loved to go gem mining, and here in western North Carolina where I live, we are known for our gems, our gem mining. We have sapphire mines. We have mines that have amethyst and garnet, and you can find citrine and peridot. You can find some diamond, not much. We can still find some gold. There was a little minor gold rush here years ago, and I still see a couple of guys in our local park. There's a stream. Well, it's more than a stream. Bigger than a stream, littler than a river, kind of in between, maybe a large stream. They sit there and they pan for gold, and they do find gold. It's not enough to, you know, warrant going, you know, searching for, panning for gold, but they do that. We see them every now and then. I think that's where the love came from to begin with, because my father absolutely loved doing that. So I wanted to be a geologist. I remember doing a whole thing in grade school talking about doing a presentation about being a geologist. And that was my favorite thing to teach my son. Did he inherit that? Mm-mm. I love crystals. I still walk and pick up pretty rocks. So, yeah. Okay. Can you tell us all the different places you have worked? Wow. Okay. Let's see. Where shall I start? I'll start from the beginning, although I guess you could count this. My father owned a sporting goods store when I was young. And that's my earliest work memory. But was I really working? At first, no. But I did grow up when I was a teenager, preteen, I guess like middle school. I actually started helping, like really helping. And probably when I was in like, well, I know freshman year of high school, 9th grade, I really had to step up more. My dad was diagnosed with cancer, and he did pass away my senior year of high school. So I did have to step up and really help run the business with my mom and take care of my dad at the same time. My high school years were not happy ones, and I have blocked out so much of it. People from my past, because I've reconnected with a lot of my high school friends because of Facebook, and people from my past go, "You remember me? We used to do this and that," and I'm like, you know, I actually don't. I remember just my really closest friends from high school, and other than that, I can tell you all about grade school. I can tell you all about middle school. High school I blocked a lot of that part of my life out, and I just don't remember it. So, but that was my first job, working for my dad. And then after he died, my mom gave me the choice, do we want to keep the business going and let me have it? And that wasn't what I wanted at the time. I kind of wish I had done that. But at the time, I wanted to be an artist and go to art school. So I said, no, thank you. because I still had college to do, and I wanted to go off to art school. I had a scholarship to go to art school, and so that's what I did. So, is that my last question? Yeah. And thank you, Lisa, for the questions. I can put my phone away now and concentrate on what I'm doing. But, oh, I'm still talking about my job, so aren't I? So right out of, well, in college, I did some freelance artwork. And right out of college, I got a job in Miami, because that's where I was going. I was going to school in Fort Lauderdale, and ended up moving to Miami with one of my roommates. We ended up living in Miami. I lived in Miami with a Cuban family. That's a whole other story, and I loved every moment of it. But let's see, wait, let me go back up. My last year of college, I worked at a movie theater in Miami Springs, and that was fun. I sold tickets. Then right out of college, let me get started on my eyes. I'll continue. I'm going to use today this Boxycharm Pure palette we got in our Boxycharm because so many of you, like me, get Boxycharm, and so I thought I would use this palette today. Now, back. I got a job with a firm, a graphics firm, and I was so excited. I was going to start my first job as an artist. And what they had me doing was typesetting, which they don't even do anymore. Everything's done in a computer. But I absolutely hated that. My mom was missing me so much that I decided to come home, be with my mom, and get a job here. So that's what I did. I left South Florida, and I need to do my brows, don't I? I left South Florida, and I don't regret it, but part of me wishes or wonders what would have happened if I'd have stayed. I don't know. It's just, you know, a what if. But I'm glad I came home. After I come home, I was debating whether to continue my education or go out and get a job. I thought about moving to Charlotte with my sister. I had 9 sisters. There was 9 girls total. No, there's 10 girls total. One of them with me. Oh, it's so confusing. I know. I have to think sometimes how many siblings I have. But my sister I shared with my mother. She has since passed away. But at the time she was living in Charlotte, North Carolina. And she said I could move in with her and her family and, you know, continue my education. Or I could, you know, look for a job in Charlotte. And I thought about that and then no. So I got a job at Belk working for Estee Lauder. I answered the ad in the newspaper, you know, back when jobs were listed in the newspaper. And it was a job for cosmetics at Belk's, but I didn't know which cosmetic line. I didn't know anything. It turned out they had several positions open. But I went in and I interviewed with Belk's, and the HR lady, I can't remember her name, I can remember her face. She says, I want you to interview with the Estee Lauder account exec. I said, cool. And I'm like, I don't own any Estee Lauder. That's what I'm saying in the back of my head. I don't own any Estee Lauder. So I had an appointment to go interview with her, and I had a bottle of Youth Dew, a little bottle from my childhood, and I put that on. And it turned out the account exec that I interviewed with loved Youth Dew. Youth Dew has a very distinct scent. You know if somebody's wearing Youth Dew. And that's what got me the job. Well, that's part of what got me the job. It made me stand out in my interview. So they hired me. I worked at Belk's as just a beauty advisor. That's what you're called when you first start out. And then I moved up to counter manager. In about 6 months, I became counter manager. And then I wasn't counter manager long when my account exec said Estee Lauder wanted me to go help with a shoot, a commercial shoot they were doing in Charlotte, wanted me to do makeup. Excuse me. So I went to Charlotte and did the makeup for a commercial for Belk. And there was some Estee Lauder people there. I didn't know them. I was just doing my job. And they liked what I did, and apparently they were asking me questions and I was answering them, giving them the answers they wanted to hear, apparently. I didn't know I was interviewing for a position at the time. And then I get contacted by my account exec and offered the position of a makeup artist working strictly for Estee Lauder, not for Belk, just Estee Lauder, and I could travel anywhere within the Southeast and do makeovers, and that's what I did. And I ended up, my tenure with Estee Lauder lasted 6 years. And so that was my favorite job. Gave that up for the husband that we will not mention. Okay, I put the light color on. So for my, I'm going to go in with Neki. I just like the name of that. I'm going to go in with Neki and put it as my transition shade. So I quit that job and got a job at the Biltmore Estate. So yeah, I worked there for, I think, about 3 years. I worked at the Biltmore Estate. And I worked in the information and tickets department. I was the manager for the candlelight evenings at Christmas. But I just wasn't getting paid as much when I worked cosmetics. I have yet to make the same amount of money I made when I was a makeup artist for Estee Lauder. That's my biggest regret, is quitting Estee Lauder. I was making some big bucks and traveling, which is the two things I love. I love traveling, I love makeup. So I just wasn't making ends meet at the Biltmore Estate. So I applied for a position at a company called Sonopress. And Sonopress made CDs, and they made cassette tapes at the time. They made CDs, and then while I was there, went into making video games. But the discs. I started there as a receptionist, and let's see what color I'm going to use next. Leave you on a cliffhanger there. I'm going to put Squad, this one, on my lid. Let's see how that looks. So I was a receptionist, and I did really well at that. I actually found I loved being a receptionist. I got to know everybody. Sonopress was actually the North American headquarters for Bertelsmann, BMG Music Group. So while I was there as a receptionist, I got to meet recording artists. Sarah McLachlan, Alabama, lots of music people come through, and that's what started my love of music and really getting to know people in the business, was from working at Sonopress, because I had a great memory back then. I could remember when people called, even salesmen loved me. I could remember who people were when they called, who they were calling for without them asking. I would keep them on hold until the person hung up. If I could tell the person was kind of avoiding them, I would say, okay, I'm going to put you through now. They just hung up. They better answer, and stuff like that. And at Christmas time, I got gifts like you would not believe from salesmen, from people in the music industry, just people I dealt with. They mailed me stuff. It was amazing. And that was the first time I went to Germany. I had met some people that worked for Bertelsmann. Bertelsmann is a German group, a German company. And so I had met them, and they invited me to come and visit Germany. And I went for an entire month, and I stayed with different friends all around the country. They took me all these different places, and I loved it. Let me get a different brush. I'm going to try one of these brushes from Vintage that we got in our Boxycharm. Oh, that I got. I don't know. I'm sure some of you got them. And now I'm going to go in with this dark brown. It's called Duet. So anyway, that's how I got to go to Germany and the first time, and just I loved working at Sonopress, and that is where I met my husband Brian. He worked there. I went from being the receptionist to becoming the administrative assistant for the safety manager, and that was my job from then on when I was at Sonopress. I was at Sonopress from 96 to 2002. I quit Sonopress because I got pregnant with Nathan. And so yeah, I was having major health issues. Bed rest. I ended up bed rest for almost 6 months. I tried working from home, but my boss really needed me, and I was on the phone with him all day, and I was still stressing, and my doctor was still stressing that I was stressing. I ended up leaving. I was on my husband's benefits anyway, so that didn't matter. So I ended up leaving, and then I went to work at a company called, after he was born, called PLI, which the plant manager I worked with previously at Sonopress. And I worked, starting out in the sales department. Let me blend this. And then I moved to, I hope you find all this interesting. I started out in the sales department, and then I moved up into it was in accounting, but actually I handled complaints and collections, and I didn't like collections, so I ended up just complaints because I learned, PLI made hotel key cards, and I learned all, at the time there was 13 different lock systems, and that's, you know, you stick your key card in, you swipe it, you stick it to the top, you stick it straight in. Now they're RFID, which I did work with RFID. At Sonopress, our badges were RFID. I made all the badges, and I control what doors you got into and what areas. But anyway, so I knew all that, and I was able to help people when they had complaints about their hotel key cards. So that was my job. And then when Nathan was diagnosed with autism, and my mother had her stroke, and I had a manager, or a supervisor I should say, who just didn't quite get it and was giving me a hard time, I quit. I said, you know, I quit. You think that's dark enough? I think it is for today. So I just quit. I'm going to take another one of these brushes. I'm going to take that Duet, and I'm going to go under my eyes with it. And we still needed my income, so I got a part-time job, weekend secretary at a funeral home, and I have to say, I loved that job. I loved it so much. It's hard dealing with people, you know, who are grieving, but I worked in the office. So I'm the one who typed up your obituary. I'm the one who, unfortunately, filled out your death certificate. I was the one who did all the paperwork and stuff like that. That was my job, and I enjoyed it, and it was a family-owned funeral home, and they couldn't be any sweeter or nicer. And to this day, I loved it, and they were great. Okay, I'm going kind of simple today because I'm talking a lot. I'm going to take Charmer, which is this shiny one, and just dab it in the center of my lid here. Finger. So I ended up quitting there because it was just too far for me to drive. It was in a different county, and I was driving 45 minutes in the morning on a weekday morning, but on a weekday evening, it was taking me up to 2 hours to get home, and I couldn't do it. It was just, I just couldn't do it anymore. So I quit there and got a job part-time, actually doing a job share as an office manager for a physical therapy clinic. And I had started my own business at this time. I owned a cake decorating business called Whimsical Edibles. And it was growing and it was getting bigger, and I had to deliver wedding cakes on Saturdays. So working at the funeral home was kind of getting in the way of that. And so I'm trying to run my own business, working at the funeral home. Then I left the funeral home and then working as an office manager. And then finally my cake business got so big that I just gave up all outside jobs and just did my cake business. I continued that up until my mother passed away. And the day of my mother's funeral, I still had 3 cakes to deliver. So I didn't get to grieve properly when my mother died. I had to plan her funeral and I had to get everything together, and it's a lot of work. And I had to make cake for people. My 2 best buddies in the entire world, Libby and Heather, delivered those cakes for me while I was attending my mother's funeral. And that had me, I started thinking about things, and I'm like, I'm not going to use any liner. I'm just going to put some mascara on. That got me to thinking, I don't know, should I continue this? It's not fun anymore. It's become a chore. And then I had an accident with my hand. I saved a Pringles can from falling off of the fridge, jammed this finger so bad I ended up having to go to a hand surgeon. So that ended my cake career. My finger is all better now. Oh, how long has it been? 3 years now? It's better. I don't want to go back to cake though. So I started my YouTube channel and just did that and concentrated on my son. And then I just started my travel business 6 months ago. So that's where I'm at. Yeah, that is my, that's my work in there. Let's see, I worked for 2 months at the Disney store when our Disney store opened in the Asheville Mall. That was actually between Estee Lauder and the Biltmore Estate. I worked full-time for 1 month while we set up the store and opened the store. And then the second month, my hours were cut to like maybe 5 a week. I'm like, I can't make any money working 5 hours a week. So, yeah, I worked there 2 months. I quit. And let's see, did I leave out any other little jobs? I don't think so. That's it. That's all the places I have worked. And they all have a story. And I made friends at all those places, except for the Disney store. I don't know what happened to all those people. I wasn't there long enough to really make friends. But yeah. There we go. Oh, that looks pretty, doesn't it? Just nice and simple. Very nice. Let's put some cheeks on. So, yeah, it's a lot of talking. I don't know how long this video is going to be because I have talked non-stop, have I not? I'm going to use this pretty vulgar blush I got. I know some of you were complaining about that coral color. I'd love to have that coral color. Look at that one I got. Let's pull it back here. You can really see it. Do you see how bright fuchsia that is? But I can wear it. And the key to that is I dip my brush in a couple times and put it on my cheeks. That's all you need. That is all you need of that one. That'll last me a couple of lifetimes. Now I'm going to use my City Color blush highlighter I got in my Ipsy. And I'm going into the cream side. At first I didn't like it. Now I do. I'm going to make sure my finger's clean. And it's not a in-your-face highlighter, which I'm not like a big-time cheeks shining all over the place highlighter. Look how red I'm getting. I'm getting hot. I should turn the fan on. But here we go. Pretty. See, it's just a nice touch. I'm not going to do a whole lot today. Just there and here. Blend that in. There we go. Now, I didn't pick a lip because I wanted to see what my eyes ended up looking like. That is so pretty. What do you think? Let me get a little closer. What do you think? I think that's very pretty. Alright. I'll be right back. Let me get some lips. Okay. I'm going to mix lips today. I do that a lot, and I don't really do it a lot on camera, so I'm going to line my lips. This will probably be sped up because I'm just going to, I can't talk and line my lips at the same time. Alrighty, I used my BH Cosmetics lip liner. These are really nice lip liners, let me tell you. And the color I used was Endora. I love the name of this because I loved Bewitched when I was a kid. So I love it. Endora. Now, I am still using my Beauty Big Bang. I know you're probably going to get tired of them, but I love these lips. I'll put down below the link to them and the 10% off code, because that 10% off is off your entire purchase. I don't mean to say, I know it sounds like I'm pushing these lips, and I'm not. I'm excited because, yes, they did send them to me for free, and I am thankful for that, and I'm grateful. But I really like them. I won't ever tell you that I like something because it was sent to me, unless I did like it. But I love these. I'm not kidding. So I'm going to start with Queen and Pam. I'm going to link Pam's channel down below, and I'll have it come across the screen because I can't remember the actual title of her channel. But it'll come right across the bottom. Link it down below. She said she thought I looked pretty in this color, Queen. So I'm going to put Queen on. Okay, there is Queen. It looks really pretty in the viewfinder. It looks a little Barbie pink in person. So I'm going to take Dulce K, which is this color, and I am going to mix. Let's do one more step. Like I need all these steps. I'm going to go into this highlighter. I'm going into the powder. Put it on my finger. There, I like that. There we go. Yep. I'm liking it. What do you think? I think this is a pretty good look, huh? Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I did. I talked like a little, I don't know. What talks fast? I don't know. Anyway, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. Please subscribe if you haven't already. And I know I say that in every video. I'm trying to reach 1,000 subscribers. So if you're seeing this for the first time and you're like, oh, you know, I like her video, I'm not sure, subscribe, please. I would appreciate it. And, you know, after you watch a few videos, if you don't like it, you know, you can leave. But I hope you'll stick around. So, yeah. If there's any questions, any comments, leave them down below. I answer every comment. Sometimes it takes me a day. My days are busy, but I do. I answer every single one of you. I read every single one of you. Sometimes you just get a bunch of hearts. That's my thing. I just love hearts. I love hearts and I love glitter. So anyway, thanks for watching. See you guys next time.